Hallstatt leads before you in the quiet shimmer of autumn, a lakeside village wrapped in silver mist, where the still water mirrors the rising peaks and the faint glow of lanterns lingers on the air. The coolness brushes your skin, carrying a soft scent of wood smoke and damp leaves. And somewhere within the mist, a promise waits of beauty, yet to be uncovered, of peace that will linger long after the journey ends. Before we begin, find a place where you can rest. Let your body sink into comfort. Tonight I'll take you on a quiet journey to a place where only peace waits for you. Put on your headphones if you can, and stay with me until the very end, as each word will guide you deeper into the night. The mist holds its secret just out of reach. You can feel the invitation, gentle and unhurried, like the way a friend might hold open a door on a cool evening, welcoming you to step inside where warmth is waiting. Nightfall Travels brings you here across time and distance to a village where reflections are more than simple images. They are stories, memories, and quiet truths. You breathe in slowly, letting the cool autumn air fill your chest. And as you exhale, you notice how the mist curls and fades, as if bowing politely before slipping back across the water. The reflection shimmers on the lake's surface, blurred by ripples, yet calm, a perfect mirror holding the outline of old houses with steep roofs, each touched by gold leaves that drift down from the hillside above. A church spire rises gently through the fog, its bell tower steady and tall. The sound is faint, almost imagined a soft chime carried on the stillness. You lean into the moment, the sound blending with the rhythm of your breath, each exhale carrying you further into calm. At the edge of the water, you step onto a wooden dock. The boards are cool beneath your feet, and the scent of the lake mingles with pine and damp earth. Somewhere nearby, the faint aroma of roasted chestnuts drifts from a small stall that waits in the square. You imagine their warmth in your hands, a simple comfort that reaches through centuries, for travelers have paused here for generations, pilgrims, merchants, and quiet wanderers, all pausing to watch their reflections on the lake. A memory stirs of an American autumn, perhaps a small town street at dusk, where pumpkins sit on porches and apple cider steams in paper cups. The same hush is here, though older, steadier, the kind that carries not only the season, but the weight of centuries resting gently on the water. Your steps are slow, steady, as you move along the lakeside path. The mist thickens and softens the outlines of the houses, making them appear like brushstrokes of a watercolor painting. One by one, lanterns glow, their amber light shining both in the air and in the reflection below. You pause and notice how each lantern seems doubled, one flame above, one flame beneath, as if reminding you that every light has a quiet twin hidden just beneath the surface. The reflection becomes the motif you cannot help but follow, each image in the water shifting gently, always waiting for your gaze. It is never quite the same as the world above, and yet somehow truer, calmer, softer, like a dream's memory of waking life. You continue breathing deeply, the rhythm steady, and your body relaxes further into the night's pace. The journey has only begun, and the mist promises more. And as you reach the next curve of the lakeside path, the sound of gentle footsteps approaches from the square, soft, unhurried, leading you toward a quiet discovery waiting just beyond the mist. The footsteps merge with the hush of the square, faint at first, then fading again, as if the mist itself is carrying them away. You pause, listening, your body still and calm, your breath steady. The air holds a coolness that brushes against your cheeks, but it is not harsh. It is refreshing, like the cool rim of a glass of water left on a wooden porch in October. The square opens before you, a simple cobblestone space at the heart of the village. Houses lean gently toward each other, their painted shutters half closed, as though they too are drowsing in the autumn air. Flower boxes linger with the last blossoms of summer, bright against the muted tones of mist and stone. The reflections of these blossoms shimmer in puddles left from yesterday's rain. Tiny mirrors within the larger mirror of the lake, scattering fragments of color at your feet. You notice a small fountain at the center of the square. Its stone basin is worn smooth from centuries of hands and seasons. Water spills quietly from the carved spout, the sound gentle like a whisper repeating itself again and again. You lean close, watching how the surface trembles, catching lantern light and echoing the same motif reflection upon reflection, each softer than the last, each guiding you inward. Nearby, a stall stands with a copper kettle steaming gently. The aroma of roasted chestnuts drifts through the air, mingling with wood smoke and the faint sweetness of mulled cider. The warmth of the scent seems to wrap around your shoulders like a shawl. A woman behind the stall lifts a paper bag filled with the chestnuts, and though she does not speak, her eyes hold a kind of welcome, the same welcome this village has extended to countless travelers, each seeking something they could not name until they found themselves here. You take a chestnut in your hand, the shell still warm, the edges rough beneath your fingers. As you peel it open, the steam carries upward, rising into the mist. You bring it to your lips, and the taste is both earthy and sweet. Simple grounding, reminding you of evenings where comfort came not from grandeur, but from a single bite of something warm. The square grows quieter as you linger, and then you notice a faint ripple of sound from the edge of the lake, just beyond the houses. A small boat rocks gently against its mooring, the rope creaking with the motion. Its reflection trembles in the water, long and thin like a brushstroke across glass. You find yourself drawn toward it as though the water is calling softly, inviting you closer. Your steps carry you down a narrow lane, the cobblestones glistening faintly with mist. Lanterns sway above their chains, giving a muted clink as you pass beneath. You breathe deeply, the cool air filling your lungs, then release it slowly, letting the rhythm of your breath align with the rocking of the boat. The motif of reflections returns once more, this time in the puddles at the water's edge where the lanterns bend and sway with the surface. Each reflection seems alive, a living sketch that shifts with every ripple. You kneel for a moment, fingertips grazing the water, and feel the coolness reach through your skin, a reminder that you are connected not just to the village, but to every quiet traveler who has paused here, tracing their own reflection in these same waters. In the distance, a faint sound rises, the low chime of the church bell, steady and soft. The sound lingers in the mist, resonating in your chest like a hum. It carries not urgency, but reassurance, a reminder that time here flows differently, slower, as though it stretches itself just for you. You close your eyes, breathe in deeply again. And in that stillness, you imagine a memory of home, perhaps the way Main Street glows on an autumn evening in a small American town shop, windows glowing with amber light. A diner door swinging open with the aroma of fresh coffee and pie. That same sense of belonging reaches you here across oceans and centuries, carried on the reflection of lanterns on water. As you open your eyes, you see the boat more clearly now, its wooden frame lined with dew, its oars resting patiently within. The mist curls gently around it, and you know it is waiting for you, waiting to carry you deeper into Hallstatt's reflections, to places where the mist thins and new wonders appear. And so you take one last look at the square at the fountain and its endless whisper at the lanterns swaying in their doubled light. Then step closer to the boat, feeling the boards creak gently beneath your weight as you prepare to drift across the quiet lake. The boat rocks gently as you settle into it, the wood cool beneath your touch, the faint creak of the oarlocks echoing softly into the mist. The rope unties with a single motion, and the boat eases away from the dock, slipping into the stillness of the lake. The water greets you with a hush, each ripple folding back into quiet, as though eager to cradle your passage. You place your hands lightly on the oars, their polished handles smooth, worn by countless others who once rode these waters. With a steady pull, the boat glides forward, the surface parting in silence. The mist thickens for a moment, enveloping you until it feels as though the world itself has narrowed to water and breath. The air is cool and damp, carrying the scent of pine resin drifting down from the hillsides. It brushes your face like a whisper, refreshing and alive. Each breath you draw fills your lungs with calm, and as you exhale, you notice the ripples behind you dissolving back into stillness, reflections reforming in their quiet place. The lake holds the village gently in its mirror. You see the outline of the church tower rising softer now, as though painted in watercolor. Lanterns glow faintly, their doubles trembling in the reflection, each flame reaching both up and down at once. You pause, leaning closer, watching how the reflection bends and sways with the boat's wake, as though the water is speaking in a language of light. A flock of birds lifts suddenly from the trees along the shore, their wings slicing through mist, their cries distant but clear. The sound is sharp at first, then dissolves, leaving only the steady rhythm of your oars and the low murmur of water against wood. You breathe with that rhythm, each inhale and exhale aligned with the gentle pull and release of the boat. As you drift, a story seems to stir from the mist. The people of Hallstatt once believed that the lake was a place of memory, a mirror not only of mountains and sky, but of lives and voices long gone. Fishermen spoke of glimpsing their ancestors in the reflection's faces, appearing for a moment in the shimmer, then dissolving again with the ripples. You watch the water now, and while you see only your own outline softened by mist, you feel the truth of the tale settle gently around you. The motif of reflection deepens here, no longer just an image, but a presence. Each shimmer of light carries more than sight. It carries a feeling, a gentle tug at the heart, as though the water remembers every traveler who has ever passed across it. The boat glides farther, carrying you toward the middle of the lake. The mist begins to thin, parting in streaks, and a hush of awe falls over you. The mountains rise all around their slopes, veiled in autumn color, gold, amber, deep russet, their crowns hidden where the mist clings to the sky. The reflection doubles them so that it feels as though you float between two worlds, the one above and the one beneath. You pause here, resting the oars against the boat's side. The silence is complete but not empty. It is filled with the subtle textures of stillness, the faint lap of water against wood, the occasional drip from an oar, the steady rhythm of your breath. You close your eyes for a moment, breathe in slowly, and exhale with a sigh that carries away the last remnants of tension in your body. When you open your eyes, you notice something unexpected, a glimmer beneath the surface. The reflection bends, then shifts until it seems to hold a second world entirely. For a heartbeat, you imagine a door just beneath the water, a threshold into some deeper peace. The image shimmers, then fades, leaving only the calm reflection of lanterns and mountains. But the feeling lingers, a gentle promise that the lake holds more than meets the eye. You smile softly, letting the oars slip once more into your hands. The boat moves again, the wake trailing behind you like a brushstroke across silver glass. Each pull is unhurried, each release steady, guiding you toward the far shore. The mist gathers once more, wrapping you gently as though to prepare you for whatever lies ahead. In the distance, faintly, you glimpse a cluster of wooden houses perched at the water's edge. Their roofs are steep, their walls weathered, their windows faintly glowing with firelight. The reflections stretch long across the surface, reaching toward you like open arms. You feel the welcome long before you arrive. And as the boat glides closer, you hear it again, the low chime of the church bell, deeper, now resonating across water and mist. Each note seems to linger in your chest, settling into stillness, carrying you onward toward the quiet embrace of the village's far shore. The boat drifts against the shore with a muted sigh, wood brushing softly against stone. You rise slowly, your balance steady, and place your foot on the damp edge of the dock. The boards are slick with mist, but firm beneath you. As you step onto solid ground again, the stillness of the lake lingers in your body, as though its calm has seeped into your very breath. A narrow lane unfolds ahead, winding upward between timbered houses. Their beams are dark with age, their walls washed pale from centuries of rain and sun. Window boxes overflow with trailing ivy, and a few autumn blossoms remain marigolds, their golden petals still defiant against the coming chill. You pause to look back once more at the water, and there it is again, the motif of reflection. The boat rests where you left it, doubled beneath the surface, the two images nearly indistinguishable. Above and below, as if the world itself carries a twin you can only glimpse when you are still enough to notice. The lane draws you deeper into the village. Cobblestones curve beneath your steps, and the faint sound of water follows you. A trickle from hidden channels, a drip from eaves, the echo of the lake not far away. You breathe deeply. The scent of wood smoke curling through the air mingled with bread baking somewhere nearby. The warmth of it touches you, reminding you of evenings back home when the aroma of fresh rolls might drift from a diner kitchen just as the street lamps flickered on. Comfort travels easily across oceans, across centuries. As you move higher, you pass beneath an archway where a lantern hangs. Its glass is fogged, but inside, the flame burns steady. You pause beneath it, watching the way the light softens the mist around you, and notice how even here on stone, a small puddle reflects the lantern's glow. You crouch looking at the double flame, one steady above, one trembling below, and for a moment, you wonder which is more real. The thought lingers as gently as the mist itself, not to puzzle you, but to soothe you. Turning a corner, you arrive at a small square tucked into the hillside. A cluster of houses surrounds it, their balconies lined with carved railings, their shutters painted in faded greens and blues. At the square's center stands a statue of Saint Michael, his form weathered but resolute, guarding the village as he has for centuries. His reflection rests in a basin at his feet, the water still and shallow, holding his shape like an ancient memory. A bench waits nearby, its wooden slats, damp from the evening air. You sit, letting your shoulders drop, letting the stillness of the village wrap around you. The air carries the faint taste of autumn, cool and earthy, tinged with the sweetness of leaves breaking down into soil. You close your eyes for a moment, inhale slowly, and feel the breath move through your body like a gentle tide. When you open your eyes again, a soft surprise awaits. A cat has appeared. Its fur mottled gray and white, its steps silent as it weaves between the stones. It pauses at your feet, looks up with slow curiosity, and then curls itself into a circle beside you. The warmth of its presence is immediate, small but grounding. You reach down, brushing your hand lightly across its back, the fur soft beneath your fingertips. The cat purrs, a sound as steady as the church bell, as constant as the lake's reflection. You smile at the unexpected gift, this simple companion in a quiet square. The motif deepens again, reflection not only in water, but in companionship. The cat's presence mirrors your own stillness, the way comfort appears when you allow yourself to pause. You linger together, watching as lanterns flicker to life one by one in the windows around you. Each glow finds its place above and below, real and reflected, until the whole square seems wrapped in a gentle balance of light. You rise at last, the cat stretching before wandering off into the mist. You follow another lane, narrower still, its stones glistening faintly. Wooden stairways climb the slope leading to houses perched almost impossibly on the hillside. You trace the path upward, feeling the incline in your legs, your breath deepening steady. The higher you climb, the more the lake reveals itself below, a mirror, stretching wide its surface, gathering every light, every shadow, every fragment of mist. You pause at a balcony rail, gazing out. The reflection holds not only the houses and lanterns now, but also the colors of the hillside's russet leaves, golden branches, dark green shades. It is as though autumn itself leans down to gaze into the water, admiring its own beauty. You watch it with quiet awe, the season doubled, the colors softened by silver mist. And somewhere within that reflection, you sense the promise of more. Not just light and color, but something deeper waiting quietly. The lake, the village, the mountains all seem to whisper that the journey has only begun, that the heart of Hallstatt lies still further ahead. Your steps carry you upward once more, the mist curling closer, guiding you toward a hidden lane that seems to vanish into the hillside itself. A path that promises discovery just beyond sight. The lane narrows as you climb, cobblestones giving way to worn steps, their edges smoothed by centuries of feet. The mist gathers closer, curling in wisps along the railing, softening the edges of houses that lean into the slope. Wooden beams creak faintly, as if whispering their age, and shutters close slowly against the evening chill. Your hand rests on a railing polished by countless palms. It is cool to the touch, slick with dew. You pause, letting your gaze fall across the rooftops below. The lake stretches outward, vast and still, holding the image of every lantern, every window, every line of the mountain. It feels as though the village floats twice, once in stone and wood, once in silver reflection. The motif deepens again. Two worlds, one above, one beneath each, echoing the other in quiet balance. You take another step upward and the air shifts. The scent of pine grows stronger, mingling with wood smoke, and the faint sweetness of apples stored for winter. Somewhere above, you hear the muffled sound of chopping wood, steady, rhythmic, comforting in its familiarity. You think of autumn evenings back home, perhaps when neighbors stacked firewood in tidy rows by a porch, each strike of the axe marking time as leaves drifted down in golden heaps. The path brings you to a small wooden door set into stone. Its frame is crooked with age, but its handle shines from frequent use. A sign above it, carved in faded script, marks it as a weaver's shop. Though the door is closed, you imagine the warmth inside, shelves of wool in autumn hues, looms humming softly, the rhythm of threads crossing like whispered conversations. The thought lingers, carrying the comfort of craft, of patience, of hands, shaping something lasting from the simplest of fibers. You continue upward. The mist parts slightly and the hillside opens to reveal a narrow balcony that juts out over the village. You step onto it, the boards creaking gently underfoot. From here, the view is wide, the lake below a mirror, stretching far into the distance. The village lights glowing in clusters, the mountains a dark embrace beyond. You lean against the railing, breathing deeply, the cool air filling you, the scent of damp wood rising. And there on the surface of the lake, you notice something unusual. The reflections stretch long and wavering, but among them, one flicker seems brighter than the rest. You focus on it, a lantern near the church perhaps, but in the water, its double glows with a shimmer that lingers longer, steadier, as though it carries a message only the lake can share. You watch it, the glow pulling you into stillness until you feel your breath slow, your shoulders soften, your entire body easing deeper into calm. The motif of reflection whispers to you again, this time not as an image of stone or light, but as a reminder that stillness itself holds meaning. That what you see above is only part of the story, and what lies beneath carries its own quiet truth. As you linger on the balcony, a sound rises, the faint ring of a cowbell from the hillside above, soft, unhurried, blending with the mist. The simple note carries down the slope, folding into the silence like a lullaby. You breathe with it, allowing the sound to mark each inhale and exhale, steady as a rocking chair on a wooden porch. Turning from the view, you follow the path farther uphill. It winds between houses perched high on stilts, their beams sunk deep into the rock. Lanterns glow faintly in a few windows, revealing glimpses of daily life. A table set for supper, a child's toy left on the floor, the shadow of a figure moving slowly across a room. These glimpses feel like echoes, reflected not in water, but in light and gesture, small pieces of ordinary life offered to the night. At last, the path bends and delivers you to another quiet square, smaller than the one below. A fountain trickles here too, its basin shallow and lined with moss. The reflection within it is faint fractured by the ripples, but as you kneel closer, you see the outline of the spire below the church tower doubled once more. Even here, far from the water's edge, the motif of reflection finds you. It follows as though reminding you that no matter how far you climb, you are always near the lake's quiet mirror. The square is hushed. Only the trickle of water and the faint call of a night bird break the stillness. You breathe deeply, letting the cool air flow through you. And as you release it, you feel your body relax even more fully. The climb has warmed your legs, steadied your breath, and left you calm-rooted here in this hillside village. And just beyond the fountain, you notice a stairway that climbs higher, still vanishing into the mist above. Its steps are narrow, its edges damp, but it calls softly, promising another layer of discovery, another reflection waiting beyond. The stairway rises before you, narrow and damp, each stain glistening faintly in the lantern light. You place your hand along the wooden railing, its surface rough with age, the grains softened by mist. Slowly, step by step, you climb. The air grows cooler, thinner, carrying the scent of pine more strongly now, mingled with the faint resin of sap. Your breath deepens as you ascend, each inhale filling your chest with the crispness of autumn night, each exhale dissolving into the mist that curls back over your shoulders. The world below slips into hush until only the steady rhythm of your own steps remains. Halfway up, you pause. The stairway bends, and through a gap in the mist, the lake appears once more. From this height, it stretches wide and endless, a silver sheet beneath the stars. The village lanterns shimmer across its surface, elongated and wavering. The reflection motif greets you again, but now it feels different, grander, as though the entire sky has leaned down to see itself in the water. You stand in stillness, letting your eyes rest on the doubled stars, the doubled lights, until the line between above and below seems to blur. The stairway carries you onward. Soon the stones give way to a small plateau, and there you find it a chapel modest and unassuming, tucked into the hillside as though carved from the rock itself. Its wooden door is simple, its frame weathered, its roof steep and dark against the mist. A single lantern burns beside the entrance, its glow steady, casting a pool of light on the ground. You approach quietly, your steps softened by moss and fallen leaves. The door yields to your touch with a muted groan, and the scent of beeswax and cedar drifts outward. Inside, the chapel is still and warm. Wooden pews line the space, their surfaces polished smooth by generations of hands. A narrow window of stained glass catches the lantern light, sending fragments of red and gold across the walls. You sit on one of the pews, letting the silence envelop you. The air is rich with the faint tang of incense, though no smoke lingers. It feels as though the scent has seeped into the wood itself, a memory of countless evenings when villagers gathered here with quiet prayers. You breathe in slowly, allowing that memory to touch you, and exhale into the calm, your shoulders softening, your body sinking into stillness. At the front of the chapel, a simple basin of water rests on a stone pedestal. Its surface is perfectly still, reflecting the stained glass window above. The motif returns here, deepened once more, reflection not only of lanterns or mountains, but of devotion, of spirit, of the quiet human need to see light, doubled, to witness beauty mirrored. You lean closer, watching how the fragments of red and gold bend across the water, shifting softly as your breath stirs the surface. And as you gaze, you recall stories whispered through Hallstatt's past. Villagers once spoke of the chapel as a place where prayers could be carried across the lake by reflections themselves. It was said that whatever light appeared here would also appear in the water below, and the lake, eternal and patient, would hold those prayers until they found their way to heaven. You smile gently, feeling the comfort of the tale, the way belief and reflection weave together into something lasting. Your breath moves slower now, each inhale steady, each exhale long. You notice the rise and fall of your chest, the gentle weight of your hands resting on your lap. You are not hurried. There is nothing to reach for. Only the stillness of this moment held in the chapel's embrace. Outside, a bell tolls faintly from the church below, its sound softened by mist. The note carries into the chapel, blending with silence, resonating through the wood. It hums in your chest, steady as your breath, a reminder of the village's heartbeat. You remain a while longer, resting in the quiet, until at last you rise and step outside once more. The mist greets you at the door, wrapping gently around your shoulders. The lantern burns steady beside the entrance, its glow reflected faintly in a puddle at your feet. Above and below, always there, always whispering. The stairway continues higher still, vanishing into the fog above. You feel the pull once more, not urgent but gentle, a quiet invitation to climb further, to discover what the mist is waiting to reveal. The stairway narrows as it climbs beyond the chapel, each step softened by moss, each stone slick with mist. The lantern behind you fades into a small glow until only the pale light of the moon filters faintly through drifting clouds. You breathe deeply, your chest expanding with cool air, scented of pine and damp earth. The higher you go, the more the air tastes of autumn, crisp, fresh, edged with the sweetness of fallen leaves. The trees gather close here, tall trunks rising into the mist. Their branches stretched like long arms, interlacing above, dripping with dew that falls in gentle taps onto the ground. You pause, listening. The sound is unhurried, like the ticking of a distant clock, reminding you that time here flows at its own gentle pace. A carpet of leaves covers the forest floor, russet amber and gold. As you step forward, the leaves shift softly beneath your feet, releasing their scent into the air. The forest carries you into stillness, your breath steady, your body warmed by the gentle effort of the climb. Each step feels like sinking deeper into a quiet dream. The motif of reflection returns, though. Here it is not water that mirrors the world, but the dew. Drops cling to every branch, every blade of grass. Tiny mirrors holding lantern light from the village below. You lean close to one leaf, its edge curled, its surface jeweled with dew. In the droplet, you see not only the shimmer of light, but also your own outline bent and softened, turned upside down. A reflection within a reflection, as if even the smallest fragment of the forest carries the whole of the world inside it. A breeze drifts through the trees, stirring the branches. The mist shifts with it, curling into pockets of silver. For a moment, the forest feels alive, as though the trees are breathing with you, each inhale drawing the mist upward, each exhale releasing it again. You slow your own breathing to match, finding the rhythm, steady, comforting, like rocking in a chair on a porch, while the night settles in around you. As you walk, a path reveals itself between the trunks, narrow, winding, edged with stones. It leads to a clearing where a small wooden shelter stands, its roof heavy with moss, its beams dark with age. You step inside, finding a bench beneath its eaves. From here, the forest stretches wide, and through the shifting mist, glimpses of the lake appear far below. Lanterns shimmer across its surface, elongated like brushstrokes of gold on silver. You watch them flicker, the reflection bending and swaying, and feel yourself sink into their rhythm. You recall faintly an American autumn night, Perhaps a bonfire at the edge of a field where sparks lifted into the sky and mirrored themselves in the dark glass of a pond nearby. That same sense of belonging fills you here, the blending of firelight and water, of warmth and coolness, of above and below. The reflection motif carries you back and forth between memory and presence, holding you steady, comforting you in its quiet repetition. The clearing holds another gift. At its edge, a spring bubbles gently from the hillside. The water gathers in a shallow pool before flowing down toward the village. You kneel beside it, cupping your hands into the clear stream. The water is cold, sharper than the air, yet refreshing, grounding you in the moment. As you lean close, you see the reflection of the trees above the mist, curling like smoke across the pool's surface. For a moment, it seems as though the forest has leaned down to meet its own gaze in the water. You linger there, letting the coolness trickle across your fingers before standing again. The path continues beyond the spring, winding deeper into the forest. The mist is thicker here, but not unfriendly. It drapes itself over branches, softening edges, making each step feel like entering another layer of dream. And as you walk, the motif deepens once more. Reflections are no longer confined to water or dew. They appear in memory and breath, in the way the forest mirrors your calm. Each element of the journey reflects back something of yourself, reminding you that peace is not found only in the lake below, but in every step, every pause, every breath. Ahead, the path begins to slope downward, leading back toward the village. Through the mist, you glimpse faint lights, warmer now, glowing from windows nestled into the hillside. They call softly, inviting you to return to find what waits in the hidden heart of Hallstatt. The path winds downward, stones damp beneath your feet, leaves brushing softly at your sandals. The mist thins as you descend, loosening its hold until the first pale hints of dawn slip into the sky. The air changes lighter, now tinged with the sweetness of morning. You breathe it in deeply, letting your chest expand, then release it slowly, a calm tide rising and falling inside you. At last, the trees part and the lake greets you again. The surface is smoother than before, utterly still, as though it has been waiting for you. A faint blush of light spreads across the horizon, pink and gold brushing the edges of the mist. The mountains stand in silhouette, their peaks softened by cloud. And in the water, every shape, every color, every shift of light is doubled reflection, more vivid now than the world itself. You step onto a wooden pier, its boards cool beneath your shoes, slick with dew. The scent of the lake rises around you, fresh and mineral, mingled with the faint smoke of hearths waking in the village. Somewhere behind a rooster crows distant, muffled, the first voice of day. You smile, feeling the warmth of recognition, the same call you might hear on a quiet farm back home, carried here across the centuries, across the mountains. The motif of reflection unfolds before you, vast and complete. The sky burns softly with dawn, and the lake answers with a perfect twin, so that you seem to stand between two heavens. Above, the colors shift and brighten. Below, they deepen, richer, more serene. For a moment, you cannot tell which is more real, the light in the sky or the light beneath your feet. You breathe deeply, close your eyes, and let the sensation wash through you. Your body loosens, shoulders, soft jaw released, every muscle easing into calm. You stand as though suspended, held between earth and water, reflection and sky. A sound reaches you then, faint but clear. The low, steady stroke of oars. You open your eyes to see a fisherman in the distance, his small boat cutting across the glassy surface. Each pull of his oars creates ripples, widening circles that distort the reflections for a heartbeat before the water heals itself again. The lake seems to sigh, accepting disturbance, then returning always to stillness. You watch this, mesmerized, the simple rhythm carrying you deeper into quiet wonder. The fisherman lifts a net droplet, scattering like jewels in the morning light. For centuries, families here have lived by this lake, drawing not only food, but a way of life from its depths. You imagine their stories woven into the water, each reflection holding memories of dawns just like this, of boats gliding across mist, of nets lifted into the air. The motif becomes more than sight. It becomes time itself, layered in gentle mirrors. You sit on the pier legs dangling above the water. The wood is cool beneath you, but the rising sun begins to warm your face. You lean forward, watching your reflection ripple in the surface below. It wavers, bends, reforms. The face you see is both yours and not yours, softened by water, by light, by the endless patience of the lake. You feel as though the water holds a kinder version of yourself, a reminder that peace is always present, waiting to be found. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying the scent of wet stone and pine. It ripples across the surface, and for a moment the reflections shimmer, blurring into pure light. You inhale deeply, the air cool on your tongue, then exhale with a sigh that seems to carry away every fragment of tension. And then, the sun crests the ridge. Its first rays strike the mist, turning it into gold. The entire lake blazes with light, every reflection aflame, as though heaven has poured itself into the water. The moment holds you completely, still awed, weightless. This is the quiet wonder you have been moving toward. Not grand, not loud, but infinite in its softness. The reflection is no longer just an image. It is a truth that above and below, past and present, seen and unseen, all are one, all are held in the same calm. You sit in silence, the light warming your face, the reflection shimmering beneath you. And as you breathe, you know this is a moment you will carry, gentle, endless, always waiting whenever you close your eyes. The fisherman drifts farther into the mist. His boat grows smaller, his outline softer, until he seems to melt into the reflection itself. You remain, watching the water heal again into stillness, the surface once more a perfect mirror. And just beyond the pier, a narrow lane beckons toward the village, where new discoveries wait in the glow of morning. The pier's boards creak softly beneath your steps as you rise, the lake behind you still glowing with golden light. Ahead, a narrow lane curves into the heart of the village. You follow it, the cobblestones damp with morning dew, each stone catching a glimmer of seeing where the mist has thinned. The air has shifted, no longer the hushed stillness of night, but the gentle stirrings of day. You breathe deeply. Cool air filling your lungs, edged now with the warmth of hearth smoke and the sweet promise of bread. Somewhere close, an oven door creaks and the aroma of fresh loaves unfurls into the morning. It reaches you like a memory of comfort, the same scent that might greet you in a small-town bakery back home, a place where the bell above the door jingled and counters gleamed with pastries. The feeling of belonging slips easily across oceans, carried on something as simple as bread and warmth. As you walk, shutters open one by one. Wooden windows creak and flower boxes stir as the first hands of morning tend to them. A woman shakes a quilt into the crisp air, its colors fluttering before settling again. The reflection motif greets you once more, for when she leans out, the morning sun catches her face, and you see it mirrored faintly in a puddle at the cobblestones below. Every gesture, every moment of life, doubled quietly, reminding you of the harmony between above and below. The lane widens into the village square. Where the fountain whispered to you last night, it now sings, water sparkling in the sunlight, droplets scattering into the cool air. Children appear with baskets, their laughter soft, their steps light. One pauses to peer into the fountain's basin, giggling at her own reflection rippling back. You smile, the sound carrying through you like the warmth of a familiar tune. A small bakery sits on the corner, its door propped open, warmth spilling out. Inside, shelves glow with loaves golden from the oven, their crusts cracking gently as they cool. The baker flour dusting his hands offers a nod as you step in. No words are needed. The welcome is in the scent, in the heat of the oven, in the steady rhythm of his work. You take a small roll, its surface warm, its steam curling upward as you break it open. The taste is simple, soft, grounding, as though the morning itself has been baked into bread. You carry it with you back into the square, nibbling slowly, savoring each bite. The motif lingers, the roll in your hand, mirrored by the rolls in baskets, carried by villagers, each of you sharing the same simple comfort. Reflection here is not only in water or light, but in the shared rhythms of daily life. As the sun climbs higher, the mist lifts further. Roofs glisten with dew and the mountains reveal more of themselves, their slopes etched in amber and pine. The lake below remains calm, holding it all, village, sky, mountain, light, in a reflection so complete it seems almost unreal. You pause at the square's edge, leaning against the fountain's stone rim, and gaze outward. The reflection of the church tower glimmers in the water below, steady now in the morning brightness, as if waiting patiently for your eyes to meet it again. You close your eyes, inhale slowly, and exhale, letting your breath blend with the rhythm of the square. You feel warmth in your chest, a quiet gratitude for the welcome of this morning. The sense of awe softens into belonging, the realization that beauty is not only found in mist and mystery, but also in bread, shared laughter, carried reflections discovered in puddles at your feet. The square hums with gentle life, yet never overwhelms. Every sound, the fountain's song, the baker's shovel in the oven, the soft steps of children blends into a calm chorus. It guides you inward, steady, restful. You linger in that music, letting it cradle you, as surely as the lake cradles the reflections of mountains. And just beyond the square, a narrow stairway curves upward toward the hillside houses. The sun catches its stones, laying a golden path through the mist. It calls softly, inviting you to climb once more, to find what waits higher in the waking light. The stairway rises ahead, its stones damp with dew, glistening like polished glass in the morning light. You begin to climb, each step unhurried, your breath steady, your body warm from the gentle movement. The scent of earth and pine drifts upward from the slope, mingling with the faint sweetness of smoke curling from chimneys below. As you ascend, the village begins to fall away behind you. Roofs layer themselves like stepping stones, their dark beams catching sunlight in soft glimmers. You pause, turning to look back. The square is small now, its fountain shimmering, its baker's door still open. The reflection motif greets you again, each rooftop, each window, mirrored perfectly in the silver plane of the lake below. The village seems doubled, as if two Hallstatts exist, one built of timber and stone, the other made only of light and water. The stairway bends, curving between hedges, bright with dew. A cluster of geraniums, their red blooms still damp from mist, leans over a balcony. Droplets cling to their petals, each one holding a tiny reflection of the sky. You lean closer, marveling at how the entire morning lives inside a single drop of water. The motif has grown small and intimate, now contained in the most delicate of mirrors. You smile, feeling the wonder of it settle quietly in your chest. The path leads to a wooden platform built into the hillside. You step onto it, the boards creaking softly underfoot. From here, the view opens wide, and for a long moment you simply stand still, breathless. Below, the lake stretches vast and unbroken, its surface calm as glass. The village rests at its edge, houses clustered like folded hands, church spire rising with grace. Mountains embrace it all, their slopes flushed with the colors of autumn russet, amber gold fading into pines that climb toward pale peaks. And in the lake, the entire world lies doubled. Every rooftop, every tree, every ridge of the mountain, mirrored so precisely that it feels as though you are gazing into another realm, equal and infinite. The reflection motif reaches its soft climax here. You feel the awe of it, not as something distant, but as something that touches you directly. Standing between the world above and the world below you, sense the quiet truth that both are real, both are yours. The reflection does not diminish what it mirrors, it completes it. You rest your hands on the railing, the wood warm in the sunlight. The breeze carries the scent of pine needles and damp stone cool on your face. You breathe deeply, filling your chest, and exhale with a long sigh that releases everything heavy within you. Your shoulders drop, your body loosens, your heart steadies. As you linger in the view, a story drifts through your memory. Villagers once said that the lake was a book, each reflection a page written by the day. To look into it was to read not only the world but also yourself reflected back in ways you could never see otherwise. You gaze into the lake now, and though you see the village, the mountains, the sky, you also feel your own stillness written there, your own calm held steady in silver light. The morning sounds reach you softly from below, the ring of a hammer on wood, the laughter of children, the clink of dishes in kitchens. Each note rises, then folds itself into the reflection so that even sound feels doubled, carried both through air and through water. You listen your breath in rhythm, with it steady as the rocking of a chair on a porch at home. For a moment, the mist parts completely and the sky reveals itself a pale, endless blue. Its reflection shines on the lake pure and bright until you cannot tell whether you are gazing upward or downward. It feels as though you are suspended weightless, cradled between two skies. The wonder of it settles into you, soft but vast, filling you with peace. You remain there, letting the view wash through you until at last the breeze stirs again. The mist begins to curl back across the lake, softening the edges of reflection. It is not gone, only hidden, waiting for another pause, another gaze. You turn from the platform, the echo of awe still warm within you, and notice a narrow trail that leads into the hillside woods. Its stones glimmer faintly in the sunlight, guiding you onward, promising new discoveries beneath the shelter of trees. The trail curves gently into the hillside, gravel crunching softly beneath your steps, the air cooler beneath the shelter of pines. The scent of resin grows stronger here, mingling with damp earth and the faint sweetness of moss. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with forest calm. Then exhale, your body relaxing into the rhythm of each step. The mist drifts in strands between the trees, pale ribbons curling upward with the morning light. Birds stir above their calls, soft and unhurried, as though the forest itself is waking slowly, carefully. You follow the trail upward until a wooden sign appears, weathered and carved with simple letters, Salzburgweg, the Salt Mountain Path. For centuries, this trail has carried miners to and from Hallstatt's salt mines, one of the oldest in the world. You imagine their footsteps echoing yours, steady and purposeful, long before dawn broke on mornings like this. The salt they drew from the mountain gave life to the village, preserved harvests, built trade. Even the reflections of the lake hold their memories, shimmering with stories carried down from the hills. The path narrows, winding past low stone walls mottled with lichen. A wooden bench rests against the slope, inviting pause. You sit for a moment, the wood damp beneath your hand, and gaze outward. Through the trees, the lake appears once more, silver and serene, framed by branches. The reflection motif greets you yet again, the village below, mirrored, perfectly softened by distance, as though you are gazing into a memory rather than the present. As you breathe, the forest joins your rhythm, a drip of water from a branch, the rustle of a squirrel darting through leaves, the faint sigh of wind shifting through needles. Each sound echoes itself above and below, real and reflected, blending into a harmony that holds you steady. You rise and continue upward. The trail leads to a clearing where a wooden hut stands, its roof sagging, its beams darkened with age. This once was a rest stop for miners, a place to warm themselves before continuing deeper into the mountain. You step close, running your hand along the wood, rough, splintered, but enduring. Inside, you picture the glow of a fire, the reflection of flames flickering across faces lined with work and time. Their voices may be gone, but the walls seem to carry an echo, a memory softened into silence. The motif of reflection deepens again, no longer just images in water, but echoes of human life mirrored through history. You feel it as you stand there, as though the air itself remembers holding the rhythm of lives that once passed through this place. A spring trickles nearby water, seeping from the hillside into a shallow pool lined with stones. You kneel, watching the ripples spread, distorting the reflection of pine branches above. The water is cold as you dip your fingers sharper, even than the lake grounding you instantly. You cup a small handful, tasting it on your tongue, mineral-rich crisp, carrying the flavor of the mountain itself. The taste lingers, anchoring you in this moment, connecting you to all who have ever drunk from this spring. You close your eyes, letting your breath deepen once more. Each inhale fills you with the forest coolness, each exhale releasing into the stillness. For a moment, you feel entirely at one with the hillside, as though your breath itself is mirrored in the mist above and below, weaving you into the mountain's calm. When you open your eyes again, the trail continues, curving upward toward the mine entrance. You follow it, and soon a dark wooden archway appears, beams braced against stone. A lantern hangs above unlit, but the sun catches its glass, casting a faint reflection onto the ground. You step closer, pausing at the threshold. Here, where the mountain opens its heart, you feel the presence of something older, deeper. The air carries a cool draft from within, rich with the scent of stone and salt. You imagine the cavern stretching far below, veins of white gleaming in torchlight, reflected in pools of underground water. The thought fills you with quiet awe that even beneath the surface, the motif of reflection continues, hidden from sight, yet always present. You linger at the archway, one hand resting on the beam, your body calm, your breath steady. The mountain feels alive around you, vast, enduring, holding stories in silence. You know you will not go further inside, not tonight, but the presence of it is enough. The reflection of lives, of history, of patience has already reached you here. Turning back to the trail, you notice the lake once more far below, catching a shard of sunlight that breaks through the mist. The water gleams, the reflection of the mountains glistening as though freshly painted. The path now slopes gently downward, leading you back toward the village, carrying with it the promise of warmth and quiet connection waiting below. The trail curves downward, soft gravel crunching under your feet, the air warming as you leave the salt path behind. Pines thin into scattered trees, their branches letting more light through. The scent of resin fades, replaced by the sweetness of damp leaves, and the faint aroma of chimney smoke rising from the village below. You move slowly, unhurried, letting each step ease you further into calm. The descent is gentle, like a lullaby sung by the mountain itself. The mist gathers once more, curling in pockets that drift across the slope. Through them, the lake begins to reveal itself, a gleaming expanse of silver and gold, the morning sun now riding higher in the sky. At last, the trail delivers you to the shore. You step onto the damp earth, soft with moss and fallen leaves. The water lies before you, utterly still. Its surface is a perfect mirror, holding the mountains, the houses, the spire, the very sky itself. The motif of reflection unfolds here in its fullest form, not fractured, not blurred, but whole and complete, as if the world has leaned down to meet itself. You kneel at the edge, fingertips brushing the water. Coolness ripples outward from your touch, breaking the mirror for a moment, before it reforms calm and unshaken. You watch your own reflection bend and sway, your outline merging with mountains and sky. It feels as though the lake has folded you into its embrace, making you part of the village, part of the world, reflected in its stillness. A quiet memory stirs, perhaps of standing by a pond back home in autumn when leaves floated on the surface and the reflection of the sky seemed endless. You remember the same feeling then of being small, but held connected to something larger and kinder than you could name. That memory and this moment overlap, now reflected across time and distance, doubling themselves like light on water. A breeze drifts across the lake, carrying the faint sound of a bell. You lift your head, listening. The note is low, steady, resonant, the same church bell you've heard before, but now it feels different. It does not call you forward, nor mark the hour. It simply hums through the air, through the water, through your chest, reminding you that you belong. Its sound is a reflection too above and below in the air and in your own body. You close your eyes, breathing deeply. Inhale, the scent of pine and smoke, crisp and sweet. Exhale. The weight of every worry loosens, dissolves, disappears. You feel tears prick faintly at the edges of your eyes, not of sadness, but of release, of gratitude. The reflection has become more than sight, more than echo. It has become a mirror of the heart. You sit there for a long while, the earth cool beneath you, the lake steady before you. The surface holds it all, houses, mountains, clouds, your own softened gaze, all joined, all at peace. You realize that reflection is not only an image, but a way of seeing that the world is whole, doubled, infinite in its calm. The moment settles into you, filling you with a quiet wonder that will not fade. It is the heart of the journey, the place where awe becomes belonging, where reflection becomes truth. At last, you rise, brushing the moss from your hands. The village waits nearby, its streets warmed by morning sun, its windows glowing with quiet life. The path curves toward it, promising comfort, warmth, and rest as the day unfolds. You take one last look at the water, at its perfect mirror, its patient reflection, then turn toward the village, carrying its calm within you like a lantern. You follow the curve of the path back into Hallstatt. The air warmer now, touched by sunlight breaking through the thinning mist. The village stirs in full, but never with rush here. Even morning carries its own gentleness. Your steps echo lightly on cobblestones, softened by the hum of life unfolding around you. Shutters stand open, curtains drawn back, and window boxes lean with autumn blooms, their petals trembling faintly in the breeze. A man brushes leaves from his doorstep, each motion unhurried. A woman arranges loaves of bread in her stall, the crust glowing golden in the sun. Their reflections ripple in shallow puddles that line the stones, so that even in movement, the motif lingers, life above mirrored quietly below. You pause at the fountain once more, its water singing a brighter tune in daylight. The basin shimmers, holding the reflection of the church spire in sharper clarity now. You lean close, watching how the image bends with the ripples, then steadies again, as though the fountain itself breathes in rhythm with the square. You breathe with it too, inhaling slowly, exhaling longer, letting the rhythm guide you deeper into rest. The scent of roasted coffee drifts from a small cafe nearby, mingling with the warmth of fresh pastries. You step inside, welcomed by wooden beams overhead, and the low murmur of voices softened by morning. The aroma wraps around you instantly, rich, comforting, familiar. You sit by the window, a cup placed before you, its steam curling into the air. The reflection motif greets you here as well. In the dark surface of the coffee, you glimpse the glow of the window behind you, the shimmer of light filtering through lace curtains. A miniature mirror holding the same calm as the lake, reminding you that reflection does not belong to grandeur alone. Even the smallest surface, even the simplest cup can hold the world within it. You sip slowly, the warmth spreading through your chest, loosening every breath. The taste is bold, yet smooth, grounding you in the moment. You recall faintly the comfort of coffee poured in a small-town diner back home, steam rising from thick mugs, the smell of pie cooling on a counter, the quiet chatter of neighbors. That same ease fills you here across oceans, carried in the warmth of a cup and the steady rhythm of life around you. Outside the square glows brighter. Children skip across the stones, their laughter light their shadows long in the sun. Each shadow mirrors their form, stretching across the ground, playful doubles of their joy. The motif deepens once more, reflections now not only in water or glass, but in shadows themselves, proof that every light carries its echo. You finish your coffee, leaving the cafe with a nod of gratitude. The air outside feels softer now, warmed by the sun's touch. The mist lingers only in patches, curling in the corners of alleys, fading above rooftops. The lake beyond gleams in full daylight, its reflection steady, whole, complete. You walk toward it once more, your steps slower, your body lighter. At the edge of the shore, you pause. Boats drift lazily, their oars resting their reflections long and thin in the water. The mountains lean over the lake, doubled in sharp clarity, their colors glowing in the sun. You sit on a bench, the wood warm against your back, and close your eyes. The air is quiet here. The sound softened, only the faint lap of water, the distant chime of a bell, the steady beat of your breath. The motif of reflection folds inward, becoming part of you now. No longer just something to witness, but something you carry in the calm of your breath, in the ease of your body, in the stillness within. The village hums gently around you, life unfolding without urgency. You remain at the shore, resting, every sense softened, every thought dissolved into the rhythm of reflection. And just beyond the bench, a narrow lane stretches along the water's edge, guiding you toward the quieter part of the village, where garden stone walls and gentle paths wait to lead you deeper into rest. The lane stretches along the water's edge, cobblestones giving way to smoother stones, their surfaces warmed by the sun. You follow it slowly, each step unhurried, your breath steady and calm. The air is lighter here, touched by the scent of damp earth and the faint sweetness of flowers that linger in small gardens beside the houses. Low stone walls line the path, their tops softened by moss. Beyond them, patches of garden glow with autumn's last blooms, chrysanthemums in shades of gold and deep burgundy, asters pale and delicate, marigolds bright as captured sunlight. You pause beside one of the walls, leaning gently against its cool surface, and watch as a butterfly drifts past its wings, painted in amber and black. For a moment, it hovers over the flowers, then lands, folding itself into stillness. Even in its fragile form, the motif of reflection returns, its wings mirrored perfectly against one another, a balance of pattern and color that speaks of quiet harmony. The path carries you onward. Here and there, benches wait in shaded corners, their wooden slats warm from the morning sun. You sit for a while on one, closing your eyes, feeling the lake's hush settle deeper around you. The sounds are gentle, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the faint creak of a boat shifting against its rope, the laughter of a child carried faintly from the square. Each sound rises and falls, echoing softly, as if doubled in the calm air. Opening your eyes again, you notice a narrow archway in the stone wall. You step through it, finding yourself in a small garden tucked against the hillside. Apple trees bend with the weight of their fruit, their branches low and welcoming. Fallen apples lie scattered on the grass, their skins shining red and gold in the sunlight. You kneel to pick one up, its surface cool, smooth beneath your fingers, fragrant with the sweet scent of harvest. You take a slow bite. The crispness fills your mouth, sharp and refreshing juice running across your tongue. The taste anchors you in the moment, simple, pure grounding. You recall autumn orchards back home, perhaps the way families gathered to pick apples, baskets filled, laughter rising as cider simmered in kettles nearby. That same comfort lingers here across oceans, in the simple act of biting into fruit fresh from the tree. A small pond rests in the corner of the garden, its surface shaded by the branches above. You step closer, watching how apples float there fallen from the trees, their shapes mirrored in the water. The reflection motif greets you again, fruit above fruit, below the real softened into dream. You watch as ripples spread from a drifting leaf, bending the reflections into patterns that shift and shimmer. The pond feels like a secret mirror, quieter even than the lake holding a private version of the world within it. You linger there seated on the grass, your body soft against the earth. The sun warms your skin, the scent of apples fills the air. The pond holds its patient reflection. You breathe deeply, letting the fullness of the moment settle into you. Inhale slowly, exhale longer, until the rhythm of your breath matches the slow ripple of water. After a time, you rise and step back through the archway, returning to the lakeside path. The village grows quieter here, the houses more scattered, the walls lower, the gardens larger. The lake beside you gleams in the sunlight, its reflection steady, complete. Each step feels lighter now, as though the weight of the world has loosened and drifted away. At the end of the lane, a stone bench waits beneath a willow tree. Its branches sway gently in the breeze, trailing their tips across the water's surface. The reflection motif deepens once more, willow above willow. Below, one soft and swaying, the other trembling faintly in the water. You sit leaning back, letting the shade wrap around you, watching as the branches sway in harmony with their own mirrored selves. The air grows stiller, quieter, as though the day itself is beginning to rest. You breathe deeply, your body softening, your eyes lingering on the ripples that spread and fade, until all that remains is calm. And just beyond the willow, a narrow footbridge crosses a stream that flows into the lake. Its wooden planks gleam faintly in the sunlight, guiding you onward, promising another layer of peace waiting across the water. The wooden footbridge waits simple and sturdy, its planks damp from the mist that lingers even in the sun. You step onto it slowly, the boards sighing beneath your weight, the faint scent of water rising as the stream flows beneath. The current glides softly, carrying leaves in shades of amber and gold. Each leaf drifts downward, mirrored perfectly in the rippling surface, so that every journey has its twin above and below, real and reflected. You pause in the middle of the bridge, resting your hands on the railing, worn smooth by years of touch. The stream glitters as it spills into the lake, its sound a soft, endless murmur. You breathe with it. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, letting its rhythm ease every part of you. The reflection motif lingers here, gentle, now less a wonder to behold than a reminder to simply be, to allow, to flow, to rest. On the far side of the bridge, the village shifts into quiet outskirts. Houses grow farther apart, stone walls broken by meadows where grass bends easily in the breeze. The air is fresher here, touched by wildflowers and the faint tang of hay. You walk slowly along the path, your steps muffled in grass, your body light as though it has shed every burden. A small chapel stands at the edge of a meadow, its door open. Its walls, whitewashed, its roof, low and simple. A single bell hangs silent in its tower, its reflection caught faintly in a trough of water nearby. You pause to look the tower upright, above the tower, trembling below, and feel again the motif's quiet presence, now softened into something tender, reassuring, whole. You sit on a bench near the chapel, the wood warmed by sunlight. The meadow sways around you, grasses and flowers bowing in unison with the breeze. Bees hum faintly, their sound low and steady like the distant memory of a hymn. You close your eyes, and for a while you simply breathe the air, filling you with the sweetness of grass, the calm of water, the warmth of sun. The reflection motif folds inward here. It is no longer about water or shadow, but about you, the way the peace around you mirrors the peace within you. Every breath, every heartbeat, every sigh is a reflection of the world's rhythm, steady, and kind. After a time, you rise and follow the path farther. It leads to the very edge of the village where fields slope gently down toward the lake. From here you can see it all, the rooftops clustered, close, the spire rising tall, the mountains leaning around the reflections, holding it all in perfect stillness. The sight is softer now, not the sharp wonder of dawn, but the quiet serenity of late morning. You let your gaze rest on it unhurried until the line between above and below seems to dissolve. A memory drifts across your mind of a Sunday morning back home, perhaps a walk down a quiet street, the smell of fresh-cut grass in the air, the sound of a church bell steady in the distance. That same peace surrounds you here, familiar and foreign, at once yet deeply comforting. You breathe with it, letting the memory and the moment merge like reflections on water. The lake glimmers one last time in the sunlight, its surface smooth, whole steady. You smile softly, feeling gratitude settle in your chest. Gratitude for the journey, for the wonder, for the calm that has carried you here. The reflection motif, once a mystery, once a marvel, has become a friend, always near, always waiting, always ready to remind you of stillness. And as you linger in that gratitude, the path ahead curves gently back toward the heart of the village, carrying you into the final embrace of Hallstatt, where rest waits to close the journey. The path guides you slowly back toward the heart of Hallstatt. Cobblestones warm now in the midday sun, the air carrying the faint scent of hay pine and wood smoke. The village hums quietly, its rhythm steady and calm. Children's voices fade into laughter. A door closes softly. A bell tolls just once, not to call, but simply to remind you of time moving gently forward. You follow the sound back to the lakeshore where everything began. The mist has lifted, revealing the water in its full expanse. It lies before you like glass clear, and still holding every detail of the village and the mountains in its reflection. Houses cluster, close, the spire stands tall, and above it all the sky rests blue and endless, doubled perfectly below. You sit at the edge of the pier, the same wood beneath you, warmer now in the sunlight. Your legs dangle above the water, and you gaze at your own reflection once more. It is softer than you remember, blurred slightly by ripples, yet kind. In the arc of this journey, reflection has changed from misty mystery to shimmering wonder, from echo of history to mirror of heart. Now it settles simply, gently, as a reminder that peace is always present, waiting quietly within you. You breathe deeply. Inhale the clean autumn air scented of pine and water. Exhale into stillness your body, light your shoulders soft, your thoughts dissolved. With each breath you feel more at ease, more at home in this quiet moment. The reflection motif completes its circle, here the world above and the world below, the journey outside and the journey within, all held together in calm. You recall faintly the warmth of nightfall. Travels the voice that carried you here, step by step, word by word, until the mist revealed itself, until the reflections became yours. This place, this peace, is yours to return to whenever you wish. The sun rests gently on the water, its light bending into gold. Boats drift lazily at their moorings, their outlines doubled below. The mountains hold the village in their embrace, timeless and steady. And the lake, patient as ever, waits to reflect whatever comes, light, shadow, silence, or your own soft gaze. You sit a while longer, watching the ripples spread and fade, until the line between above and below disappears entirely, leaving only serenity. And when you are ready, you may close your eyes, knowing the journey is complete, knowing the reflection will always be there, waiting in calm, holding you in its quiet embrace. If you enjoyed this journey, you're welcome to join me again whenever you wish. There are many more stories waiting for you, ready to guide you into restful dreams.